All right. Let's make sure that everything is working right. Looks like you can hear me. Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. Happy Sunday. Decided to get out here and do a little bit of flying in the simulator. We're gonna try that wonderful Vision Jet again, just my absolute favorite. And we're gonna go ahead from. Well, let me go ahead and just show you on the Sky Vector here. We're gonna go from KTIW, my home field here in Tacoma. Zoom on in real quick. There's Tacoma. Looks like marginal VFR scattered 21, broken 29, broken 38. Temperatures are up 3024 on the altimeter. We're going to go ahead and go eastbound to Walla Walla, KALW. Now, it's not so easy to see on the IFR charts, all this terrain where all of the let's see. No, no, no. Oh, there it is, right there. And weather looks pretty nice. 230, 13 gusts 21. It's a little windy over there. Broken 37, altimeter 3020, and temperatures are up 10 and 2. So it looks like a pretty good day. If we look at the World VFR charts, you can actually see the terrain a little bit. We've gone the other way. I know you've seen that, but from TIW, we're going to make our way over the mountains here, Cascades, and then land in Walla Walla, which is sort of on the far right, far lower right side of the state there, Walla Walla right there. So shouldn't have too much trouble, and overall the weather looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and switch over to the tablet and do a little bit more work on that. So imagery, 6 hours, surface, you can see here in the Washington area, the prog charts. I'm just to make sure this is right. Valid 18 Zulu. The time is now 1853 Zulu, so this is pretty much the latest weather here. Let's see, what we want to know is, starting from the area here at the bottom of, oh, I can't annotate it, boo. Starting from the bottom here of Puget Sound, just to the top right of this nasty little red region, interestingly enough. What that is, chance of thunderstorm. Okay, well, we're not going to go south. How about that? And then we've got precipitation, bands of mixed, and then snow headed to the east. And then once you're over the mountains, everything is nice and easy. This orange dotted trail, this orange trail here represents a trough. Looks like there's a warm front coming in, so we'll push that forward to a 12-hour view, and you can see the chances for thunderstorms have increased, but we'll be over in Walla Walla by that time. So maybe not a good time to come back, but we can just grab some dinner and wait it out. Perhaps. Yep, you see, look at that. By 18 hours for valid 06 Monday, we could come back at night, and we could fly back. Maybe that would be fun to do. So I feel pretty good about the overall conditions. Let's take a look real quick and understand what we have in terms of icing. Freezing level analysis in this area, 51, 32, and 38. So we're going to be above freezing levels. Probability analysis, why don't we say flight level 230. Looks like nothing. Flight level 210, nothing. Flight level 190, nothing. Okay, good. Let's just stay high then. And let's look at 15,000 feet to... let's look at 2100 and see what that looks like. Flight level 210. Not a whole lot of turbulence either, so that looks really, really good. Any PIREPs in the area? CONUS, icing, and turbulence. High altitude. Down south, moderate. You can see near Oregon, moderate and light to moderate. That probably has to do with those thunderstorm chances, the convective thunderstorm chances in that area. And this is above 180. Let's look at low alt if I have to go down low. None, slight turbulence, icing 053. That's the lower turbulence probably in the area, again due to the thunderstorm activity, convective activity down south. All right, so let's go ahead and pop in the flight plan. Cirrus Vision Max Cruise Thrust. I'll go ahead and set to flight level 210. We're not going very, very long. KTIW to KALW. Okay, straight line distance is 191 nautical miles, 42 minutes. Let's go ahead and very quickly do ETD today. Let's say we're going to take off in about 20 minutes. And IFR eastbound, you can see here tailwind, tailwind, tailwind between 190 and 230. It's all about the same. We could pick up another 2 knots of tailwind if we go all the way up to 250, but so what? Doesn't seem like that much of a big deal. We could save a minute flying at flight level 190. Why don't we just do 210? Give us a little bit more room. We can stay nice and high. And then we'll route. VAMPS V2ELN V187 to Pasco, V520 to ALW. Okay, that's a little bit of a mouthful, but Vamps is the initial waypoint, and then to the Victor 2 airway all the way to Ellensburg, and then on the Victor 187 to Pasco, and then on the Victor 520 to Walla Walla VOR. It seems okay, 201 nautical miles, so it only takes us about 10 nautical miles out of our... Nope, I don't care about that. It takes us 10 nautical miles out of our way, so it's not a hugely twisty, ridiculous route. In fact, I like it. So we'll go ahead and dial that in real quick. So let's go ahead and move over to flight plan. Because you know we're going to be talking to Pilot Edge today. 6378 Mike. 250 departure location KTAW, call W to 1,000 feet. Alternate airport, don't need one. Route of flight is Vamps V2 ELN Victor 187 Pasco Victor 520 ALW. Okay, let's make sure that that's what we expect. IFR, yes. 6378 Mike, yes. SF50 Vision Jet, yes. 250 knots, true. KTAW departure, yes. Walla Walla arriving, yes. We're asking for 21,000 feet, flight level 210, yes. And then recheck Vamps V2 Ellensburg, Victor 187, Pasco, Victor 520, and ALW. Yep, that's correct. File. Sweet. Alright, we're filed. Let's get back into the game. Alright, here we are. Cirrus Vision Jet Z2, Vector Corso Red. That's nice. It's a wine run, so let's have a nice wine-colored livery here. We'll fuel it up to about 95%, and 141.79, you put that together, that's about 280 gallons. We're expecting to burn 75.3 gallons. Does that give us a good amount of buffer? Yes, it absolutely does. The IFR requirements are to the original destination, then to the alternate, then again for 45 minutes. We have absolutely no problem there. Looks like we're burning about 100 gallons an hour, so if we have 280, we take away 75 minus taxi, that gives us 200 gallons. That's 2 more hours. So we have a fantastically good margin of safety. And let's go ahead and zoom on in to Tacoma real quick. We'll just hang out here at North Ramp 5. Stop that. There we go. And 190 at 9, so I would expect we're going to be taking off runway 17, so we'll put ourselves in a nice, easy position, ready to go to runway 17 when things kick off. Okay, all right. How's everybody feeling about that? Good plan. I know we're moving fast, but we're thinking our way through it. I want to show you the ALW NOTAMs real quick while we get started. Did you see that? Did you see the little alert NOTAM? I already took a look at it. But let's look at it. ALW runway 20 closed to approach speed more than 121 knots and aircraft wingspan more than 79 feet and tail height more than 30 feet. Do we have a problem there? We do. Our approach speed is actually 140 knots. However, it says Monday through Friday, 21:30 to 0100. It's Sunday. This doesn't apply. Okay. Let's get back to it. Right, my friends. We are back in the game. Make sure my controls are working. Vision Jet, no yoke. Yep, C-152 Bravo. Vision Jet. TA-320 Vision Jet. Yep, we're good there. Alright, cool. And then I want to make sure that... I gotta go over here. Sound output. Volume settings. Sorry, I'm working on something I got messed up last time. Input. Razer USB audio enhancer. Yep, microphone looks good. Volume 80. Alright, let's ride. I still can't get enough of this plane. This thing is the coolest thing, like, ever. Alright, and we're gonna go ahead and run there. Come on, live. Alright. You know me, I love my checklists, so we're gonna go MFD Utilitas checklists before engine start. There we go. The checklist is over here on the MFD. Let me make sure that my tablet's Not blocking things too much for you. Nope, but can I see it? Yep, okay, good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look over on this side. Pre-flight inspection complete, door latched. Yep, door is closed. Parking brake as required. I have it set for now, so set is good. Battery 1 and battery 2 switches on. Yep, Gen 1 and Gen 2 switches on. Make sure that's set. Yep. Sweet. External GPU, don't need it. Active FADEC channel A. We are solid. Alright, and strobe lights on. Cast messages, check. No cast messages except for parking brake, we're good. Thrust lever to idle. Thrust lever is idle. Brakes, hold. Engine knob to run. Fuel pump, check. Sounds good. Alright. The one thing it doesn't tell you is when to put your headphones on, and I suggest right now. Chocks, covers, protectors off. Bows, headphones on. Loop. Yep, fuel pump's good. Fuel pump on, showing on the CAS. Engine start, bad temp, engine overload, custom message not displayed. Yep, neither of those are displayed. Standby, start up. Okay, we're watching 25% N2. We need to make sure that we have positive N1 indication. We do. 25% N2, we have positive N1 indication. Okay, ITT is increasing, but it's not going off into the red. Watching for anything going outside of bounds. Listen for light off within 8 seconds. N1 spiking, and we're good. And positive battery amps, and thrust shows above 0%. We have light off. Oil pressure is good. Oil temperature is good. ITT is good. N2 and N1 are good. Gallons per hour is good. Plenty of fuel, good. Positive amps, good. FADEC channel A, still good. All normal. X control panel set. External GPU not an issue. Oxygen master switch set on. Awesome. And we're going to set the bleed in a minute. For the moment, we're going to go ahead and do our initialization.
Fire. Fire.
Fire. Fire. Fire.
Fire.
Stall.
Stall.
Stall. Stall. Sweet. Alright, initial fuel fob sync 284 gallons. Yep, that's what we poured in there. We're good. Weight balance, it's me. One passenger, carrying about 20 pounds of cargo. And fuel on board. Takeoff average weight 5906. We're under the max weight. Sweet. Flight plan. KTIW. Enter. Add destination KALW. Sweet. And I'll add the route when we are given our clearance. Accept initialization. Initialization accepted. Reticulating splines. Okay. Cap spin, remove and stow. That's not virtualized. Passengers brief. Hey passengers. Yeah, you want a briefing? No. Okay. Seatbelt secured. Bleed switch fresh air. And turn probe heat on. Okay, we got fresh air coming in. It's awesome. Alright. Engine start. After engine start checklist complete. Let's turn the temperature up a little bit. Actually put the fan on auto there. There you go. That feels pretty nice. Kind of warm in here. Warm and fuzzy feeling. I'm going to go ahead and go to performance mode. So we can get max performance on this bad boy. It looks really good. Alrighty, let's get some weather here. I'm gonna go ahead and go down to my navcom, bloop. And I could use my spinners. 1, 2, 4, 5. Oh, except I want comp 2. 1, 2, 4, 5. And I want to be monitoring comp 2. Did I get that wrong? Oh, I always get that wrong. It's 1, 2, 4, 0, 5. One 7, 5 at 9. visibility 10. Sky condition few 2000, ceiling 48 broken, temperature 11, dew point 10, altimeter 3024, ILS runway 17. Okay, sweet. Alright, I got that all set. Let's go ahead and set our baro correctly. 3024. Alright, baro is dialed. And we want to talk with Seattle Approach. We use 122.2 to simulate a RCO, or Flight Service Station. I'll also set 118.5 on the standby. That's going to be Tacoma traffic. And then on Comp 2, we'll set 121.5, which is going to be our guard frequency. Always be listening to guard. Very important to be doing that. All right. And we'll go ahead. Yep, 122.2 is good. And I want mic 1, monitor 1, 2. There we go. All right, we got weather. We set the baro. We got our comms set. Now we need to call for our clearance. So let me go ahead. I'll put my tablet up so you can see. I'll get my craft notes out here. We know that we want to be going to KALW. We're hoping that'll be our clearance limit, but we'll let them tell us. Oh, I'm not connected to Pilot Edge. Charles.
Pilot Edge connected.
What are you gonna do? And we listen for a sec just to make sure we're not stomping on anybody. Hey Haviland, thanks for swinging by. Good to see you. Looking for a good flight here today myself. All right. Seattle departure, Cirrus Vision Jet, November 6378. Mike, looking to pick up our IFR to Walla Walla.
For 6378 Mike, Seattle approach, clear to Walla Walla Airport as filed.
AF.
Maintain 4000, expect flight level 21010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.4, squawk 3641.
Cleared to the Walla Walla Airport as filed. Maintain 4000, expect flight level 210 in 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.4, squawk 3641, 6378 Mike.
Air 78 Mike, read back, correct, advise ready, hold for release.
Will advise ready, holding for release, 6378 Mike. Okay. We got our clearance and we got HFR, so let's go ahead and roll it in reverse order here. So we're going to go back and we're going to squawk first. A 3, a 6, a 4, 1. Enter 3641, sweet, and we're going to set departure frequency. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that until we're up to the line and ready to go. Our initial altitude will be 4,000 feet, 4,000. So we're going to go to AP and dial 4,000. And we weren't given a departure procedure, so I'll go ahead and set initial heading to 170. We can use an ODP if we want to. That'll be fine. And we are cleared as filed. We are cleared as filed, which means we can go into the flight plan and we can load the flight plan that we had decided on. So, en route waypoint, we'll start with this. We'll start with VAMPs. So we're cleared as filed, so we can add VAMPs, and then I'll go ahead and hit load airway, and the airway will be the Victor 2 airway terminating at Ellensburg. So we'll search this list for Ellensburg. There we go. Alright, load that airway. Cool. That airway shows us collapse. Now at Ellensburg, I'll hit load airway, and we'll then do the Victor 187 airway terminating at Pasco. PSC. This is really easy. It's really nice to do to load these airways, and it handles everything for you. It's so cool. And then at Pasco, we load the next airway, which is the Victor 520 airway, and that terminates at ALW, which is the VOR over top of Walla Walla. Now, we're going to ask for an approach before we get there, but our clearance limit is the Walla Walla Airport. So if we lost comms, we would go to ALW, and we'd cross over the Walla Walla VOR, and we would use it, right, because it's right over top of the airport, we would use it as the entryway to an approach, right? We're just trying to stay predictable for ATC. That's the idea. That's the point. Okay, so we weren't told to do a proc. There was no procedure that we've been told to fly. We were given the choice, right? We enter the en route structure the best way that we think is right, reasonable. Yeah. So what do we think is the right thing to do? Well, why don't I pop my tablet and show you something? So we'll go KTIW, show on map, procedure, departure, takeoff minimums. Close the binder. Nobody wants to see that crap. Tacoma Narrows, takeoff minimums, obstacle departure procedures. Man, that's a lot. Runway 17, turn right, climb via heading 230 to intercept Ulm R009, then direct Ulm Vortex. So this is what we would do until we were told otherwise, right? Direct Ulm Vortex, and then once we cross the Vortex, then we can head direct VAMPs as we've been cleared to do, right? We're using an obstacle departure procedure. So why don't we do that? I think that's a good idea. So I'll go ahead and reset the heading to 230. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be that, and we're going to climb, and then Ulm R009. So why don't we pop in some stuff on audio and radios? Nav 1, 113.4. I happen to know that's Ulm Vortac, and 116.8 is Seattle, which is a nice thing to have. And then in PFD, we'll hit bearing 1, bearing 2. Nav 1 doesn't show Ulm Vortac yet, but it will shortly. If I got that right. I better have got that right. Olympia Vortac, 113.4. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Whew, fun stuff, everybody, right? Let's get back to our checklist. Common navs are set. Yep. ATIS clearance has been obtained. Yep, we're cleared. Altimeter set and check. We did. Transponder set. Yep, we're squawking. Heading initial alt, we set to 230. Climb out. Set. Flight controls free and correct. Let's make sure, like, and rudders. Okay, good. Free and correct. Good. Set trim to 6 degrees. Hold the trim button. Going up 4, 5, 6. Set. Flaps 50%. Click. Flaps and check here. Responding. We are at 50%. Electric roll trim set. Toga button press. Push. You see takeoff showing right there, and the little flight director mustache is going up. Cast messages check only shows parking brake. Seats must be in normal upright release position. Release and brakes check. Parking brake released. Alright, before taxi is set. I'm going to turn the lights on. Fun stuff, huh?
Approach November 443 is at Tuffy.
Alright, I'm going to go navcom, and I'm going to break com 1, and we're going to switch to 118.5. Tacoma traffic, Cirrus Vision Jet 6378, Mike's Northeast parking, taxi runway 17, Tacoma. There you go. Alright, before takeoff, departure briefing complete. Yep, alright, our departure briefing, we're going to take off runway 17, and once we are, I'll go ahead and 700 feet AGL, so once we're at 1,000 feet, right turn 230, and proceed as with the obstacle departure procedure instructions. If we do not get full takeoff power, we'll abort the takeoff. If we're not off by, go ahead, plates, airports, if we're not off by Alpha 3, it will abort the takeoff. And if we lose engine power, we're going to go for the beach. We're going to make a right turn and head for the beach.
Approaching runway 17.
Alright, we're all set there. Okay, and departure briefing is complete. Landing lights is required. We'll go ahead and turn the landing lights on. Probe heat switch is on. It is. Engine IPS switch is required. I'm not going to turn that on until we are after takeoff and on our way up. Wing stab IPS switch off. Yep, that's off. Cast messages checked. Trim 6. Yep, checked. It's still good. Flaps 50. Check. Yep, check 50. Okay, verified takeoff emergency message in the cast not shown. Yep. Multifunction windows configured. We are configured. Ready to rock and roll. Procedure is complete. Normal takeoff brakes. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to switch frequencies and we are going to talk. Get our IFR release.
Southwest 2963, contact NorCal approach 120.905.
Seattle approach, Vision Jet 6378 Mike is number 1 for departure at Tacoma, runway 17, holding for IFR release.
4320 Sierra Bravo, Salt Lake Center, Boise, altimeter 3017, landing west. Choose Sierra Bravo, make that request with Big Sky Pro. 6378 Mike, release for departure. Clearance void if not off in 3 minutes. If not off in 3 minutes, advise Seattle approach of intentions within 10 minutes. Change about the frequency approved.
Release for departure, clearance void if not off in 3 minutes. Change to advisory frequency 6378 Mike. We got 3 minutes, baby.
NorCal approach, Southwest 2963 is 17,000.
We're going to be off by 1904.
Oaks 2 arrival. Information Papa, I'd like to request the ILS 30'd.
Alright, we'll go ahead and switch over to 118.5 and then we're going to dial in real quick on our, we got 120.4, that's going to be our departure frequency. Okay, we're ready there. Brakes, hold, thrust lever, takeoff, engine instruments, check normal. Let's go ahead and get on the runway and go. Okay, lights are as required, we're good. Let's get our V speeds up. PFD, speed bugs, takeoff, all on. Bugs are ready. Alright, once we get on the runway, we're going to point down the runway 17.
Approaching runway 17.
We're going to push the thrust lever all the way to
Entered
takeoff
runway
power.
17.
All the way to takeoff power. Make sure engine instruments are normal. We have takeoff power set. We release the brakes. We're looking for 90 knots. At 90 knots, we pitch up to 5 degrees. Landing gear is up once we have positive rate of climb and no usable runway remaining. And flaps up at 115. Once again, brakes, full power, takeoff power set, release brakes, 90 knots, pitch up 5 degrees, landing gear up, flaps up at 115, and then once we're 1,000 feet, we're going to turn right heading 230. Are we ready? Let's go. Tacoma traffic's November 6378 Mike, Cirrus Vision, taking off runway 17, departure to the south. Tacoma. Takeoff power set, releasing brakes. Airspeed's live, engine instruments are in the green. "90, rotate, 5 degrees. Gear up, 115 flaps up. Climb for 165. "1,000 feet. Turn right heading 230. We're looking for bearing 189 to Olympia. Go ahead and switch over frequencies now.
134.5.
NorCal approach on
230.
34.5, Southwest 2963.
Number 432 Sierra Bravo, contact wing scan approach 110.6.
Seattle departure, Cirrus Vision Jet 6378 Mike, 2,500 feet, climbing 4,000 feet.
Jet 6378 Mike, settle departure right now.
IDEN, Vision Jet 6378 Mike.
78 Mike, ready to contact 2.5 miles south of Tacoma Airport, climb and maintain 16,000.
Climb maintain 16,000, 6378 Mike.
Big Sky approach.
All right.
1,700.
Bravo.
Information Papa.
Southwest 2963, North approach, roger, expect ILS runway 30 approach.
I'll expect ILS 30 approach, Southwest 2963.
Number 4320 Sierra Bravo, Big Sky approach, roger, advise you have information, close back.
And we'll go ahead and we'll take off thrust back.
Do it right.
Alright, we have the information, close back, and request 28 left if possible.
Roger, expect visual approach to left.
Expect visual 28 left.
And we're looking for bearing 189 for the Olympia VOR, and then we'll turn direct OLM. I'll go ahead to PFD and select nav source VOR1 OLM 134, and we're looking for the radial 009. So we'll go ahead and hit it's nav 1. No. All right. Outside air temperature -4. We're in the clouds. Anti-icing system is active. Let's not climb as aggressively. Let's climb at 165. That's the right thing to do.
Southwest 2963 after bar, cleared ILS.
All right, looking at 192 bearing to
After Barb, clear ILS
OLM.
30 approach, Southwest 2963.
And we know we're going to turn 189er when we have bearing 189er.
Missoula Tower, November 44383 is clear of runway 30, parking at Minuteman.
We're still
Number 44383.
climbing too aggressively.
Missoula Tower, roger, taxi to Minuteman via Golf, remain the frequency. Taxi via Golf, with you on this frequency, November
And
30.
190, and we have bearing 189 now. Left turn 189 for OLM VOR. Alright, we can proceed VAMPs anytime we want to, and since I've got visual clearance, I'm going to go ahead and proceed direct VAMPs now.
Over 2049, contact Salt Lake Center, 125.57.
We're going to continue climbing 160, and then left turn we're going to proceed direct VAMPs. So I'm going to go ahead and hit nav source FMS, direct to VAMPs, activate VAMPs, fantastic. Go ahead and hit nav mode. Alright, FMS directing nav mode now, continue to turn. We're now through 10,000 feet.
Over 2049, Salt Lake City Center, roger, cross jamming at 16,000, Salt Lake altimeter 3011.
Very good, very good. Alright. Now through 11,000, climbing 16,000 feet. Okay,
Mercedes here, Bravo, clear direct voice
completed
airport.
that takeoff crap. First lever MCT, it is. Engine parameters monitor, they look good. Cabin pressure monitor, cabin pressure is going up. Differential is within the green. Ice protection is required. We're all set. We're not to the transition altitude yet, so we're not going to bother with that. I need to keep trimming this thing down. It's just so aggressive about wanting to climb.
Jet 78 Mike, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Contact Seattle Center 126.6, 6378 Mike. Seattle Center, Vision Jet 6378, Mike is 13,000 feet, climbing 16,000 feet.
Number 6378 Mike, Seattle Center, climb and maintain level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, 6378 Mike. Alright, let's go. Up to the flight levels. 210 set on the altitude bug. Turn on my Bose active flight reduction now that we're take off. I don't need to listen to the engine as much. Feeling pretty good about it. Now we'll go ahead and hit the IAS climb mode, FLC, and autopilot active. Sweet. Alright, well I love everything I'm seeing so far. How about you? Having a pretty good time? Nice to have you on board today. Shouldn't be a very long flight at this point. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead over here to this knob. I'll hit the full button, and then if I go flight plan and I go all the way down to the bottom, cumulative ETE 1 hour 5 minutes. ETA will be there by 2015 UTC or about 110 or 115. Not so bad, eh? Alright, we're continuing our climb now, climbing at 165 knots, that's good. Able to keep that 1,500 feet per minute. Climb is good. What we're going to do next is once we cross the transition altitude of 18,000 feet, we'll set standard baro, and then that'll complete our climb checklist. Once we reach 210, we'll go ahead and turn on our cruise checklist, and we'll follow our cruise checklist to make sure we're good there. And our route has already been set. We know it's going to be Vamps and then join the Victor 2 airway and then all the way to Ellensburg. So let me go ahead and pop the tablet and show you what I'm talking about here. So if you can see here, we did our departure procedures, and we did what we were told on the departure procedures. We departed out runway heading, and then we turned 230, and once we hit the radial from, oh, that was a terrible drawing. Once we hit the radial here, we went ahead and turned direct OLM, but then I looked and I said, you know, I can see, I have full visual clearance, I'm all good. I'll go ahead and proceed direct Vamps, which is what we're doing now. And we're climbing now to 210, which is the requested cruise altitude, so we're good there.
South 4963,
We
contact
completed the
Tower
departure procedures.
127.2.
Essentially, we're going to be entering we're in the en route section here soon. Once we cross Vamps, and so it's going to be Vamps, and then we're going to go Bander, Beezer, Ellensburg, and then it becomes the Victor 187 airway, Phoebus, Niles, Exode, and then there's Pasco, and then it becomes the 520, Cities, Lyles, and then this is the terminal.
Southwest 2960 Tower,
ALW. You see that's the Walla
wind
Walla
280 at
VOR,
900
and then there's the airport right there. So we're not going to want to fly this entire route. At some point, we're going to want to pick a. Oh, there's transition altitude.
Vision Jet 78 for direct Ellensburg.
Clear direct Ellensburg. Vision Jet 6378 Mike. All right, Barrow, push standard, and we can just go like this. Doot. ELN, cleared direct. Sweet. And I'll do fly direct ELN, like that. And now we're just going to make a straight line to Ellensburg. Does that cut a little bit off our time? It does. It cuts a few miles off, so that's awesome.
Climbing through transition altitude.
Yep, we're doing that. Anyway, let's see if that does anything to our ETE. It does. It cuts off about a minute, I guess, maybe. Not really. But some of this also comes down to the fact that we need to speed up to get an accurate ETE. So, yeah, ForeFlight's saying like on the ground at 1 p.m. So we'll see. Okay, 19,000, or flight level 190, climbing flight level 210, and continuing to rock and roll. So now we're just cleared direct Ellensburg, no worry with the Victor this or the Victor that airway, and that's great. Turn the tablet off, and let's just take a second and enjoy being in charge of a jet, because boy oh boy, that's fun. I really like it. Yeah. Thanks, Haviland. The rig is running real nicely today. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment. There we go. And speaking of rig, look at this guy. 6378, my king of the skies, baby. Queen of the skies, maybe. Yeah, baby. All right, 500 feet to go till we level off for flight level 210, and then at that point we'll go ahead and run our next checklist. So I'll go ahead and press the button marked half, brings the checklist back. I'm going to click it over there like that.
Number 2 Sierra Bravo, Roger, cleared visual approach, runway 28 left.
All right, cruise, coming up on cruise. Tom Cruise. Thrust lever as required. Ice protection is required. I'm actually going to turn my ice protection off.
Walker 2489, on the play off the arrival here to Salt Lake Exchange configuration. Turn right heading 020, descend and maintain 14,000.
All right, we're leveling off 210. Flight level 210. You can see the speed is coming up here, so as it comes up, we're going to be looking for Mach 0.52. That's going to be where we want to stabilize our throttles at. So I'll let it drift up. You can see Mach 0.405 and rising. We're going for Mach 0.52, and once we get close, I'll go ahead and activate the auto throttles, and it'll keep us nice and steady at that speed. Yeah, you see the ground speeds ticking up.
Southwest 2963, taxi Whiskey, Victor, and Tango, the ramp, monitor ground 0.75.
As we do, you can see the cumulative, I think, time to our destination. Cumulative time to our destination is decreasing, 53.43, 53.19, so we're getting a more accurate estimation of what
Number 2489, contact Salt Lake approach 128.1.
All right, Mach is continuing to increase.
Approach 128.1, walking first 9, thank you.
Mach 0.45, looking for 0.52. No traffic to speak of in the area, so that's fantastic. Very happy about that. Looks like right around 231 knots or so is the equivalent at this altitude of Mach 0.52 for the equivalent altitude and temperature that we're at. So we'll wait just a minute and then we'll activate our
Number 2489, Salt Lake approach, roger. Information November's current now, altimeter's 3011, expect visual approach runway 35, send and maintain 1000.
Let's go ahead and help ourselves out by adding a little bit more navigational assistance for situational awareness. We'll use 117.9er, which is Ellensburg VOR, should be directly ahead of us, 081, 60 miles. Sweet, that's good. Mach now 0.48, continuing to climb. Ground speed 310 knots. All in the mail. All right, we got Mount Rainier off our right there. It's absolutely beautiful. That's always a stunning picture. Love it, love it. Never get tired of it. The Cascade Range, we're starting to enter that area. I'll go ahead and zoom the map out a little bit and get an idea of the weather. You can see that there's some precipitation, things happening in our neck of the woods as we've departed, but we look ahead here, 40 nautical miles, so far nothing. I'll go ahead and zoom out a little bit further. 50, 100 nautical miles, nothing at all. Now let's make sure that is actually correct. So if I go back to MFD and I hit map settings and I go to my Connects radar, it is dialed to 400 nautical miles. So nothing going on. Why don't we verify that with our precipitation real world weather here.
Walker 2049, sitting 010.
On our side, and then on this side of the Cascades, barely a scratch. Maybe a little bit south of Walla, you can see right there, there's something going on. Now I wonder what that might be. If I go to the VFR sectional, oh yeah, look at that. See, there's mountains. Mountains down here, so there's something going on, a little bit of snow over those mountains there. All right, and we're just about to our Mach 5.2. You can see 5.14 and climbing. Ground speed 330 knots. Go ahead and change this back to IFR low, and we'll zoom that out. And you don't need to see the tablet right now anyway. All right. All right, 0.518, 0.519. Activate auto throttles. Auto throttle is active. Holding speed at 0.520. I said you better be holding speed at 520.
Choose your Papa, contact Boise Tower 18.1.
Okay, thrust is coming back. Okay, I'm hearing it correct. All right, we're doing good. ground speed, 333 knots. We're now stable on our flight plan with a stable speed and going straight and level, so let's see if we can do a better estimate about when we're going to get home to KALW. Cumulative ETE to the destination looks like about 42.5 minutes. Let's call it 45
River
minutes.
4320 Sierra Bravo, Boise Tower,
We
runway
add
28
that
left,
to
clear
our
to land,
current
wind
time.
3207.
We'll be there around 105. Does that sound right to you? About 105, yeah. Grand. Love it. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Wonder what it looks like to a passenger. I'm not sure that... Nah, none of these are a passenger view. Never mind. Alright. Cruise checklist has been completed. Go ahead and press full.
Walker 2049, contact approach 125.7.
And there we go. Alright, Ellensburg now 41 miles.
Walker 2489, Salt Lake approach, rudder.
Well, let's come up with a plan for,
Legion 383, Fresno ground, turn right 29 right.
let's come up with a plan
Back
for what
the-
we think we want to do
yeah,
at
Bravo
Walla.
3,
So
Bravo.
take a look at the latest weather, 220, 17, gusting 24. Yowza. What do we have for runway
Walker
configuration? Looks like runway
2489,
20
turn left heading
is the
350,
correct
vector visual
runway
approach,
then.
descend and maintain 9,000.
So what would be our intended procedure then? Approach. We could take ILS, we could take an RNAV, we could take a VOR if we wanted to, but I don't really want to. Let's see. Well, here's the RNAV GPS runway 20. That could start at Bacon, and we have to get down 4,600 minimum. Hold at 10,000, between 10,000 and 4,600, and it'd be a procedure turn. So we would. What's that look like? What's that look like to you? That looks like a parallel entry. Slight left turn and then left turn around to cross back in. Okay, that's one option. What else have we got? ILS. Let's see. We could do Hollow int. Let's see where Bacon is. Bacon. Okay, Bacon's there. We could probably take Bacon from the Pasco VOR. As a matter of fact, let me see if there's a Pasco feeder. Edit. KALW, show on map. Procedure. Are there any arrivals? No. RNAV 20.
Number 2 Sierra Bravo, next to be a Foxtrot to the ramp, remain this frequency.
No, it'd start from Bacon. I mean, I guess we could also start from the Walla VOR, and we would go out over the airport, 46 to Kimu, and then that'd be just a parallel back in at 4600.
Destination ASOS is 135.875.
Thank you. That's helpful. 135.875. Okay. Thanks.
Southwest 2049, trying to maintain 8,000.
Well, let me see. Is it faster to
Correction Walker 2049, trying to maintain 8,000.
procedure approach ILS runway 20? So we could start. No, not ILS. I'm sorry. RNAV runway 20. So So we can start from ALW or Bacon.
Falcon 2489, turn right heading 360.
Yeah, I'd say we start from Bacon. And then we have LPV.
Agent 33, Fresno Tower.
Alright.
Runway
This
29
triangle thing
right.
looks really weird, but the reason it's doing that
Clear
is
for takeoff.
because it thinks that I still want to fly to ALW, which is my clearance, not my clearance limit, but that's the VOR. So once I ask for the approach and get things amended, I'll go ahead and remove
Clear
that
2049, third visual
BS
approach,
from the
runway
flight plan.
35.
It'll all look a lot better. We'll probably at some point be cleared Bacon. Maybe after Pasco, we'll be cleared direct Bacon. It looks like we probably want to be at least 4,500 feet, 4,600. Yeah, it looks like 4,600 feet. Probably cross around 5,000. And then it would be inbound here, initial approach fix, and then again a parallel entry, hold loop procedure turn.
Vision Jet 78 Mike, contact Seattle Center 132.6.
Contact Seattle Center 132.6, Vision Jet 6378 Mike. Seattle Center, Vision Jet 6378 Mike, level flight level 210.
Number 6378 Mike, Seattle Center, roger.
Alright, I'll turn that tablet off. Not doing too bad out here, huh, guys? Well, and, you know, kind of looking at what we saw on the radar and knowing that it's pretty clear here, I can verify that with my own eyeballs. Wow, it's beautiful. Believe it or not, while we were doing that, you know, nonsense with charts, we crossed over the Cascades. Haha, we're done. We're in Eastern Washington. That was simple. It helps when you have a ground speed of 330 knots. Let me go ahead and zoom in the map a little bit. There we go. Alright, so it's going to be Ellensburg and then the Victor 187 airway. Let's see if we can hear anything on Pasco weather. Not Pasco weather, excuse me. COM2. Flip. Nothing yet. Nope. Not hearing anything. Alright, back to guard. Well, let's take a look at our next checklist here, because at some point we're going to want to do a descent. Let's assume that we want... let's assume that...
6378 Mike, set a pilot's discretion, maintain 1000, the Walla altimeter 3019er.
Descendant pilot's discretion, maintain 1000, and thanks for 3019ers, 6378 Mike.
Falcon 2489, contact Salt Lake Tower
So go ahead.
118.3.
Dial that 3019er, that's preset, so when we click standard barrow in, it's already preset to 3019er. We're golden there. And we can descend at pilot's discretion, and so at this point we're going to continue our descent, and we can descend whenever we want to, and the question is, when do we want to, right? So let's do a little bit of quick math as we do that. We're crossing Ellensburg, we're on our way to Phoebus, we've just joined the Victor 187 airway.
Walker 2049 Salt Lake City Tower, runway 35, clear to land, wind 290 at 8.
We know we need to stay at 11,000 feet, right? And we also know that between Pasco, and let me turn my tablet on, between Pasco and Bacon, which is where we want to start our approach, we have 27 nautical miles between the two. Assuming we're at 11,000 feet when we get down there, we need to get down to about 5,000 feet. We need to
Legion
lose
383, contact departure.
Once we get to 11,000, we need to lose 6,000 feet, and we have a 3-to-1 ratio, right? It's 3 miles for every 1,000 feet we lose. If we're losing 6,000, then it's 18 miles. That's plenty of room. So if we get down to 11,000 by the time we hit Pasco,
Legion 383, Fresno departure,
again,
radar contact,
if
left
we
direct
get
frame.
to 11,000 by the time we hit Pasco, we'll be in a good position to descend in time to cross Bacon at 5,000 feet, which sets us up for the approach. So that means, then the only question is, in order to hit 11,000 by Pasco, when do we need to start descending? We're at 21,000 feet. we need to lose 10,000 feet. A 3-to-1 ratio means it takes 30 miles to get there.
That's
That's nice and
383,
easy
contact
math.
Oakland Center 125.75.
So let's see how far we are from Phoebus to Pasco. From Phoebus to Pasco is 48 miles. Okay, that's a little bit more than we need. What about Niles? 24 nautical miles. That's a little bit less than we need. Somewhere halfway between Phoebus and Niles is probably where we should make our descent. Let's use the VNAV functionality to make things a little bit easier for us, huh? How about that? So
Oakland Center, Legion
sit
323,
right here.
8,900, climbing 10,000, direct frame.
Legion 33, Oakland Center, climb and maintain flight level 250.
Climb maintain flight level 250, Legion 383.
VNAV enabled, descent schedule, that's fine. We don't need to do anything funny there. All I need to do is pick the right... I need to uncollapse this airway, excuse me. Expand this airway. And I'm going to set Pasco alt 11000. Enter. And then hit VNAV direct. And what it should do is it should put a top of descent marker somewhere. There, BOD is right there. Bottom of descent is at Pasco. Where's top of descent? I don't know. Hit full. It's saying it wants me to like head on down now. Feels like what it's telling me to do. Do you agree? And I want to be coming down at about 1,000 feet a minute. Okay. Well, let's try it and see how it works. So I'll hit half. Descent, thrust lever as required. Alright, so I'll go ahead and auto throttles off. And I'll go ahead and hit AP and we'll dial this to 11,000.
Walker 2049, taxi the ramp via Kilo
And I'll
and
go
monitor ground
vertical speed
0.9.
mode, and I'll dial 1,000 feet a minute, and we'll go ahead and bring the thrust back. And we want to maintain Mach 0.5 as we come down. So we're going to want the speed to decrease a little bit as we come on down. Okay, thrust lever as required. Landing field elevation check. Okay, Walla Walla's landing field elevation is 1,200. Ice protection as required. Nope, I think we're good for now. Altimeter transition altitude set local setting. Yep, we'll get there in a minute. Alright, so back we come. Alright. And we're turning. And we're coming down now at, it looks like, you can see here, here's the vertical guidance. The little notch tells us what we should be descending at, and I've got this set to -1,000, which is pretty much right where it needs to be. So I'm following the guidance fairly well. We're only deviated by about 900 feet. We're 900 feet high, so I'll go ahead and dial it 1,200. We want to make sure that we're not overspeeding. We're doing okay on that. Give it a little bit more thrust. Try to keep Mach right about 0.5, and we don't want the deck to go any lower. We don't want the nose to go any lower than 5 degrees down angle for the engine deck safety. So we're watching for that. And as we come through 18,000 feet, 8,000 feet, we'll go ahead and set to local barometric pressure. This is a good time to, okay, now vertical
Number
deviation.
6370, make contact Spokane approach 128.75.
Contact Spokane approach 128.75, 6378 Mike. Alright. And we're coming down. Spokane approach, Vision Jet 6378 Mike, flight level 186, descending 1,000 feet.
For 6370, Mike Spokane approach, Roger, Walla Walla, altimeter 3019, advising you have the automated weather safe approach request.
Roger, thanks for 3019er. We'll get the weather and get back to you with approach request. 6378 Mike. All right, and we're coming through. So as we come through 18,000, yeah, Mach looks pretty good. Our thrust level's pretty good. You can see this. We now have this coming up to meet us. So I'm going to go ahead and hit VNAV mode active, and what it'll do is it'll intercept the path as it comes on down. Okay, there's 18,000. Barrow, push standard now. Okay, and it reset to local field. 3019 will continue to come down. 12,000. Vertical deviation 567. We have a steeper descent than the path, which means this path is going to be coming up, so we'll hit the path on our own coming down, Mach 0.489. Good, everything is set, and it'll run itself. So I'll go ahead and COM 2. We'll switch over and see if we can pick up weather at Walla. 212 at 11.
Station 383, contact LA Center 133.2.
Visibility 10, sky conditions, ceiling 4800 broken, temperature 10, dew point 10, altimeter 3019er. 212 at 11. Okay. All right. So what that tells us is that runway 20 is the correct runway for us. So we're going to ask for the RNAV GPS runway 20 starting at Bacon, and it will terminate with a full stop. So make sure everything is still good on the flight deck here. I'm just going to give it a little bit more gas to keep our speed up. We want to keep the speed at Mach 0.5 on our way down. We're going for 11,000 feet. And the descent is going to take us another 6.5 minutes. Our vertical deviation is just perfect. It should go to, watch this intercept the vertical speed path now. And now vertical speed is being set by the vertical speed is being set by the appropriate pitch by the autopilot, and I will go ahead and just monitor this. There we go. I'll give it a little bit more gas. And let's go ahead and ask for our approach request. Again, we want the RNAV 20 starting at Bacon. So let me tablet up real quick. Spokane approach, Vision Jet 6378 Mike. We got the weather. It's runway 20 into Walla starting at Bacon, and this will terminate with a full stop. Okay, we're watching that throttle setting as we're coming up to Mach 0.5. Bring that thrust down. Well, maybe that was a little bit...
November 6378, Mike, Roger, clear direct Bacon, cross Bacon, at or above 4,600, cleared RNAV runway 20 approach.
Clear direct Bacon, cross Bacon at or above 4,600, cleared the RNAV runway 20 into Walla, 6378 Mike. Sweet. All right, we got some work to do. So, what do we know? What do we know, like the guys at MathNet? Proc. Approach. RNAV 20. Bacon. Let's check our minimums. Minimums for, it's going to be LPVDA is 1394. Because we're going to be on LPV approach. Load and activate. Boom. And clear direct Bacon. And we want to cross Bacon at 4600 feet. We want to get down the best we can. We'll do a VNAV direct. And so that's going to change our VNAV profile. Now we aren't climbing as aggressively. So we are on the V path. It's going to change our speed a little bit. Or it's going to change our pitch angle a little bit to hit that 4600 on our way down. To Bacon, it's all assuming a constant speed profile. Okay. All right, now that we're cleared Bacon, let's fix up a couple of things. So, Bacon RNAV direct to Bacon. Yep, that did what I was hoping it would do. Hooray. All right. And Bacon, and then Kimu. All right, so as we come to Bacon, I'll go ahead and make sure everything is set up. We'll continue our descent instructions, and then we'll brief the approach, and we'll be on in. We're doing really well here in the Bacon 4,600 feet. You can see here we have a deviation of only 10 feet. We're bang on, so the VNAV is doing a great job. Speed is right where it should be. I'm going to go ahead and tag the auto throttles. We'll tag the auto throttles in to do this work for us and keep speeds the way they should be. We've got the weather. Let's go ahead and set Walla Walla Tower 118.5. We're prepping our comms to be ready to go there. Let's see. We also want to check here. You know what? Stop. Stop. Don't get ahead of yourself. Run your checklists. Descent, local setting. Yep, we did that. Seats and seatbelts secure. Good, we're done there. Okay, approach checklist. Approach briefing. Complete. Okay, all right. So we're gonna do our approach briefing next. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our approach briefing next. So let's work together on this, folks. Let's work together on this. Tablets up. Plates. I'm gonna erase all this crap so that it's nice and clean, and we're going to brief the approach. Okay. RNF GPS runway 20 into Walla Walla. Let's take a look at the notes first. Uncompensated baro nav system. No, that's not a big deal. INOP ALS. I haven't heard anything about that. No. RVR authorizes use of flight director AP HUD to decision altitude. We don't have those kind of conditions. It's a very nice day down there. We're fine. Our minimums LPV are 1394 and an RVR of 2400, which is about a third of a mile, something like that. Let's call it half a mile just to be safe. All right, so Bacon, we need to cross at 4600. We know we're going to be at 4600 when we're at Bacon, so we're good there. Once we cross Bacon, we're going to fly heading 085 4600 to the initial approach fix of Kimu. Kimu is the initial approach fix. At that point, it's a whole new procedure turn for the course reversal, so we're going to go a parallel entry on 202, left turn, back to cross. We still need to stay at 4600, right? We're not changing altitude at this point. Once we cross Kimu, we can descend 3200. We're going to fly Kosev, then we're going to descend fly Kosev. Kosev is our final approach fix. So there's going to be, we'll do the glide path intercept on LPV at 3200. We're going to fly down to minimums. This is important to note. We cannot be any lower than 2420 as we cross Waka. 3.7 nautical miles. Now, the LPV guide. Okay, we're at 11,000. Oh, we need to come down. Oh, there's something that I missed. 4,600. That isn't good. Charles didn't do it right. I missed something and should have been more careful. VS mode, minus 1,800. Let me see how I can fix this. Okay. VS target 1202, VS required 1437. We'll fix the deviation 967. We'll dial this to 1600. Try to get the nose above 5 degrees. As we come down, make sure this path angle is coming back up, and if it is, once it intercepts that, we'll get it fixed. What happened there was I leveled off at 11,000 and not the 4600 target that we should have hit by Bacon, and the autopilot did exactly what it was supposed to do in that case, and it obeyed the altitude bug, not the visual path guidance, but it was up to me to set the altitude bug down to 4600, and I failed to do so. So, you know, minor issue. We didn't descend as consistently as we should be descending, but we're doing okay. Everything's still good. Speed's still 250. We're all right there. Let me go ahead and zoom the map in a little bit. Maybe not that far. Okay, and down we come now. Okay, we got another 4,000 feet to go on the way down. We're keeping right at 5 degrees, pitch down angle, so the engine deck doesn't have any problems. We're closing that vertical deviation gap right here. You can see we're closing that, and bottom of descent now 3 minutes. Okay, let's check our flight plan and make sure that this is correct. Bacon to Kimu to Kosev to Waka to the missed approach point. Yep, that's correct. And if we have to do missed approach, we climb to 4,000, direct to Ceylon, and hold at Ceylon. Very easy. Just climb straight out. Boom, to Ceylon. Okay. And it's a decision altitude. We're an LPV, so decision altitude, if we hit 1,394 feet and do not have runway in sight or do not have minimum satisfied, we fly that missed approach immediately. Okay, that's it. That's it, and that is all. So, approach briefing is complete. All seats in normal upright position. Ice protection is required. No ice protection is required. Lights is required. Yep. Flaps 50 and airspeed 140 KIAS. Okay, we are going to do that part of it once we are 5 miles from the initial approach fix, which is Kimu. So we're not going to be flying 140 knots. We're not going to reduce the throttle, and we're not going to put the flaps out until we are 5 miles from Kimu. Okay, we've got 2,000 feet to go now, and we are on the V path, so that's been fixed up. Go back to full. Let's go ahead and do a couple other things that we need to do real quick. Aircraft systems status. VREF is 84 knots. We're going to go to PFD. We're going to go to speed bugs, landing, and set VREF to 84. Okay. V speeds are set. And let's get the Walla 116.4, I think is what that one is. I'll turn the tablet off. You don't need to see that now. Navcom, okay, 1,000 feet to go. Okay, Walla VOR now, 118.3 nautical miles. Crossing Bacon in 30 seconds. Okay, back to the map. Do it to it. Alright, should be left turn, heading at 085 to Kimu. And there we go, crossing Bacon right there, 4,600, and we are not going to be messing with our altitude for a minute here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn VNV mode off. Turn that off. We're not going to be using that. We'll be using a couple approach on our way down. Kimu is 14.5 miles. Once it shows 5 miles right here, we'll go ahead and slow it down to 140 knots and go flaps 50%. Alright, let's make sure that we're dialed here. We got 118.5. That's going to be our Walla traffic. So we're dialed there. We're doing good. Still listening to ground. Okay, latest weather on tablet shows 22017, gusts 24 knots. That was 54 minutes ago. To our right, what do we see in terms of weather? Everything looks pretty good. Nothing that's no big surprises as far as I can tell. Okay, 10 miles to Kimu. At 5 miles, we slow down to 140 knots and pop 50 of flaps. Okay, make sure our cabin pressure is coming down. Everything is getting comfy for takeoff here. We're bleeding 0.6 PSI. Eight and a half miles to Kimu. I suppose I could have turned like all the landing lights and stuff off while I was flying. I suppose I didn't need to have them on the entire time, but what are you going to do? 7 miles. Alright, coming up on 5 miles. Auto throttle's off. Reducing thrust. And 50% flap speed is 190 knots. At 190 we can go flaps 50. And pulling thrust back to about 40%. Kimmy now 3 miles. Keeping that 4600, we're going to expect parallel entry, left turn, cross back over Kimu, and then we can descend. Okay, speed continuing to come back, now 220 indicated. Very pretty country out here. Time now 12:50. Okay, we'll pull that thrust back a little bit further, now back to 30%. Out of 210. Okay, we probably should have been about 140 by the time we crossed the final approach, or the initial approach fix. So that's on me, I'm sorry about that. Alright, past 190, that's flaps 50%. Alright, flaps are responding, we're at 50%. Speed's dropping. Go ahead and bring the throttle up a little bit to compensate. Looking for a target of 140 knots. Just 40%. Watch that come in nice and easy. There you go, outstanding. And thrust up to 50%. And 140, auto throttles are engaged. Okay, we're outbound on the procedure turn, the hold and loop procedure turn. Going to be making left turn inbound Kimu. Flaps to 50, airspeed 140, approach checklist complete. We'll run our before landing checklists once we're past the initial approach fix at Kimu on inbound Kosuv. Inbound Kosuv, we'll run our before landing checks. Left turn to cross Kimu back inbound, and our next setting will be 3,200. Okay, we're dialed, and we'll fly vertical speed of 600 feet a minute on down to 3,200 once we cross Kimu inbound. That'll be a right turn for heading 202 Kosuv. There you go. Keep it coming. Nice beautiful day out here, but the, instrument approach procedures are for all kinds of weather. Even if it was a crummy day, this would still work just fine. How's everybody doing? Good? Okay, I can see the approach lighting system at Walla Walla just off that left-hand side. It's all the way pretty much near the window threshold. You can see it far, far side there. Coming back around. Making that course reversal. Left turn, cross Kimu. We're about 5.7 nautical miles. We're 5.7 nautical miles, huh? Uh-oh, that's not right. It's a 5 nautical mile holding pattern. Shouldn't have gone that far. Should have stayed closer. That wasn't good. I'll have to watch that next time. Even if the autopilot's doing it, and even if it looks like it's supposed to be right, we're too far away from... Well, I think we were. Yeah. I think we were too far from the hold. Yeah, take a look at this. Let me show you my tablet. Looky there. Right? See? Should have been a 5 nautical mile limit, but we went outside of it. Well, there's 5 nautical miles right about there, so actually it's more like that. But we still went outside of it, and that wasn't great. So something to think about. Needed to be down to a much lower speed much sooner, and that was on me. So we got a phone number we'd like you to copy. Yeah. All right, 3.5 nautical miles to go. You see Walla just off our 1 o'clock, right out there. There's apparently an airport 219 like right below us. Sure enough, look at that. We could land there next time. Kinda groovy. 1.5 miles to Kimu, getting ready for that turn. Alright, making the turn. Vertical speed mode engaged. Down 600 feet per minute. We'll go ahead and start up before landing checks. Landing gear down and locked. Okay, landing gear coming down. Landing gear showing 3 greens. Cabin pressure difference 0.0 psi. Doing good. Windshield IPS switch off. Autopilot off, airspeed VREF to VREF plus 10. Alright. We're on our way down, 3,200, now 5.6 miles. Flying 140 knots. $11 miles to the runway. Hope I still got the right comm. Yep, I do. I should be hearing approach at some point. I'll go ahead and cancel IFR in the air. There's no reason we're not gonna have any problem. Even if we had to go around, we could still do that in VFR conditions, so we're good. All right, coming down to 3,200 now, and then at Kosiv is going to be the final approach fix. We're going to intercept at 3,200. We'll head our way down. Flaps is at 150. Kosiv down 2 miles. Eight-mile final, runway 20.
Mike, there's no traffic 0 between you and Walla Airport. Report cancellation last bar in the air on this frequency or on the ground on 122.2. Radar service terminated. Change to advisory frequency.
Radar service terminated. Change to advisory approved. Roger. 637 Mike. We'd like to cancel IFR at this time.
78 Mike, Rogers. Squawk and maintain VFR. Have a good day.
Squawk and maintain VFR. Thanks for the help. 6378 Mike.
No problem.
All right, Kosiv is coming up right now. Squawk and VFR back. COM 1 switch. switch to approach mode. Glide path has been intercepted. We're on our way down. We now have 5.5 mile final. Walla Walla traffic. Cirrus Vision Jet 6378 mics on a 5.5 mile final. Runway 20 full stop. Walla Walla. All right, down we come now. At 3 mile final, I'll go ahead and go flaps to 100%. Wacky now, 1 mile. We need to make sure that we're above, well, we don't need to make sure we're above 2420 because at this point we're VFR. We can do anything we want. But it's still good to use this stuff in an advisory capacity. I mean, you're trying to keep your situational awareness up and you're trying to keep your workload manageably low, so I ain't so mad about keeping the approach.
3 mile final runway 20.
Okay, there we go. Flaps 100. All right. And at 500 feet radar altimeter, I'll go ahead and take it manual. Radar altimeter now 730, 720, and dropping. Speed coming down to 100, coming down to approach speed. Thrust at 41%.
500.
Traffic 637, Vision Jet 6378 mic, 3 mile final, runway 20 full stop, Walla Walla. Radar altimeter now 650. Feet. Radar altimeter 700. $650. 1.8 mile final. Radar altimeter 500, going manual. Yaw dampers disengaged.
Minimums.
Not bad. Alright, plates up. And we'll stop here for a sec. Walla Walla traffic, Cessna Vision, Cirrus Vision Jet 6378 mic is clear, runway 20, taxi parking, Walla Walla. I'm just going to go ahead and park over in those general parking areas over there. Actually, I kind of like the terminal. Let's go to the terminal. That sounds cool. It's a neat building. It's got all the gas that I'm looking for. There's lots of cars parked out there. That's probably where my wine got delivered to. Sweet. We did all that crap. After landing, flaps up, wing stab, APS switch off, engine APS switch as required, propede switch off, external lights as required. Brakes check, shut down, thrust lever to idle, ground idle for 2 minutes, engine IPS switch to off, blade switch, fresh air, oxygen master off. Yeah! Awesome stuff, man, awesome stuff. Sit here for a couple of minutes and let things cool down. But hey, what do you think? Yeah, pretty good. I enjoyed it. That was a fun one. Here at the terminal, just chilling. Your jet is here. Everybody loves that. Everybody loves that. Pop open the luggage door, put the chocks in. And people get their luggage. Alright. And we'll do the rest of our shutdown here. And, call it good. That bleed air switch. Fresh air. Oxygen master switches off. Engine knob off. All right. Caps pin back in, park brake egress, airplane secure. Wow. Pretty good stuff, huh? Well, it's nice to get out there. I really enjoyed the flight. Total time, now that I think about it, I actually don't know. When were we off? We were off at top of the hour, and we got there at looks like 1:10, pretty much on the dot. So about an hour and 10 flight time. Not too bad. No real huge surprises. If we take a look just real quick at the tablet, no real huge surprises. We did ourselves that obstacle departure procedure. Here, let me turn off the radar. Obstacle departure procedure, and we interrupted that because we had good visual clearance. We'd go direct Vamps. We were fine. That was what we were cleared to do anyway. And then we were cleared direct Ellensburg, which bought us a minute. And we started our descent down to 11,000. We used the VNAV system. That was pretty good. At that point, we were cleared direct Bacon. Once we crossed Niles, we were cleared direct Bacon, 4,600. We were still coming down at that point. That's where I made that mistake and didn't dial 4,600, and so I ended up leveling off 11,000. We had to get a little aggressive on the descent to come down, but that was okay. Kept the speed up most of the time. That was awesome. We were cleared the RNAV 20, so we did our procedure turn, and Kimberly, our hold low procedure turn here. You can see, because my speed wasn't down the way it should have been, we overshot by about half a mile the protected area, which wasn't great. It's great that we were on the protected side, but we overshot the 5 nautical mile sort of intended hold radius, which wasn't great. The rest of it was pretty easy. We intercepted at Kosovo at 3,200 as expected. We activated a coupled approach, came down, flaps, gear, speed was good. We canceled IFR in the air because we had good VFR conditions, and we knew even if we had to go around, we still had visuals, so we have no problem there. Landed. I think the landing was actually nice and pretty soft. There was a little bit of a wobble to one side. I probably could have dealt with that with a little bit of rudder and anticipated that, but otherwise it was good. And no trouble taxiing and parking and shutting down at the terminal area. So we were really good, and I felt great about the flight, and I'm glad that we're here at Walla Walla, and thanks for joining me today. We'll see you on the next one, and keep on flying. See ya.